Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here with you to tie a tie. Now I've been wearing a tie at work for 30 years now, and I would estimate that I've actually worn a tie at work about 300 days a year. So that's 9,000 times that I've actually tied a tie. So I'm not an expert, but I thought some of these tips might be helpful as you tie a tie. The first thing you need to do, of course, is fold up your collar, and then you've got a varying amount of widths on a tie. They're not standard. So what you need to do is the most important part of the whole process is how much it hangs down. Again, because ties are not standard for their lengths, what you need to do is kind of play it by ear depending on the tie that you have. So the first thing you need to do is you need to start with, in my case, I start with the right side is the long side. You could do it opposite, especially if you're left-handed, but I start it this way. So the short end is on my left. So I hang both of those things down. But the most important part of the whole process is this first step right here. It's how much is hanging down, because you can adjust it slightly, but so I pinch it like this, and then what I do is I bring this opposite thing into the crevice in there, that hole in there. And see now, if you keep this finger right here, notice that you've got the beginnings of a really nice tight knot there. You can pull this down a little bit if you want. So now, see, you've got half of it going. And you can get the other half. Look at this, we're almost done. What a great video. And so now we've got this, look how tight that is. You could bounce a ball against that thing. So now you pull the rest of it through, and you're keeping it tight the whole time. And then this is another important part. But now you're going to bring that back part through the front of the knot. Notice here. And you're kind of keeping it flexible the whole time. So now you look and see, okay, I've got about this much hanging down, and now I can kind of tighten that a little bit, and I've got it just about the right length. I don't want to have it hanging too low, and I don't want it hanging too high. If you look at photos of men back in the 1940s and 1950s, they wore it really short, like up in here. Again, sometimes you've got a tie that's really long, so you end up with this narrow part almost the same length as this wide part, because the tie is just cut so long. And this is more of a standard length of the tie. So it's hanging about maybe 4 or 5 inches above the long part. But see, now it's all proper, and now you can fold your collar down. And if you've got a button, you can button your collar buttons here. But one of the other things that I wanted to mention as we close here is that you don't want to leave it tied. And there's a couple reasons for this. One, if you leave it tied, what I mean by that is that you could take it off and just sort of loosen this like this, and actually take it off your head and just hang it on your hanger in your closet like that. You don't want to do that for 2 reasons. A, it's going to lose its nice flat shape if you do that. If you keep that knot when you're not wearing it, it's not going to be nice and flat. The second reason why you don't want to do that, though, is because then you're going to get out of practice, right? If you have all your ties just already tied for you, you're not going to get some good practice like this. So tie it every time, untie it every time, and you'll be good to go. And you can put a nice tie clip in here if you want to. I wear my tie clips actually a little higher than most people. Most people have them kind of down in here. But I like to put those clips up there. That way, if you have a vest on or something like that, that tie clip is going to show. It's going to show. It's going to be nice and viewable. So that is really all there is to tying a necktie. Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here with you to tie a